had granted one of my articles. Never. And at 1 week before I was supposed to come back to France, Marie-Jo Pérec quit with John Smith. You know that in France, in the north of France, for the athleticism, we have Liévin, the first trial, the first meeting, athletic meeting in the north. In the United States, in New York, they have the same. They call it the Melrose Games. And at the Melrose Games in 2000, John Smith was here with Atto Boldon and Maurice Green. Jean Casanova called me in New York and said, Fabrice, can you go there and meet John Smith? John Smith. Me, meeting John Smith, this gentleman, this superhero, well, the super coach. He said, yeah, because we have an issue with Marie-Jo Pérec. I won't blame how press are in France. I won't blame how people can be sneaky to know what happened exactly at this, what happened, and we're going to make comments about it. My approach was that I was meeting a gentleman, a head coach, someone who brought to life careers like Atto Boldon, Maurice Green, and so many others. As I've played American football for 8 years, I always respected my coaches. And when I talked to him, well, on the napkin I wrote, "Excuse me, sir, I need to interview you," because I was speaking with Maurice Chevalier accent at this time. "Can I have an interview, please, because I need an interview." He looked at the napkin, looked at me like that. I was sweating, but sweating like, oh my God. But it was cold outside, but me now. And he said, okay, let's have a meeting. 10 minutes. It lasts 1 hour and 30 minutes. With an interview, which was not an interview like you, okay, what happened? Merci beaucoup d'être venu. Well, thank you so much. It was not an interview of a man, what happened, what has she said, what has she done? Can you tell me sneaky things? No, I said, tell me, coach. I've been a player, an American football player. How come someone can quit with a head coach that everybody is enhancing? He looked at me and said, sorry, Fabrice, like the Fabrice, because Fabrice was too hard for him, so he called me Fabrice. Fabrice. And I was, no, I'm not Fabrice, I'm Fabrice, but you know, one day we will all know the truth, because the truth will come up one day. I finished my article like that, but during the 70, 80, 90 lines, we were talking about sports, how he was as a head coach, how we train his athletes. And I've never judged Marie-Jo Pérec. I never charged my, well, not friend, but this French athlete. I said, this guy, this method, his method, it's like that. Marie-Jo Pérec might not be able to follow his orders or the way he was training her. I didn't say anything about personal things. 1 week after that, I was supposed to go back to France. The flight company that I've taken went bankrupt. During the 3 months that I was in New York, I didn't know, but my flight company went bankrupt. When I came to the airport for my suitcase, I say, let's go back to France, it's over. I failed again. Well, in the snow, this day, because it was snowing, I said, oh my God, I'm becoming an alien. I've become illegal in the United States. They're going to put me in jail, and I'm dead. 5 days after that, Sportal.fr, hearing about my article in L'Equipe, signed me and saved my life and opened something incredible. During these 3 months, I was living with a friend in South Manhattan, and I was looking for my own place. I couldn't work in a French restaurant. Yes, I did. I did. Like many French are doing on the side. But at the same time, during my noon shift, well, lunch shift, and the night going to the NBA games, or on Sunday to NFL games, and paid every 90 days. That's how it works with journalism in France. Okay, we go, pay, go, we pay you 90 days after that. I have to live. So I took a job on the side in an American restaurant, not a French one. They covered me because they knew that what I was doing on the side for people, for kids. Because at any time, at any moment, I was running for you guys, adults. I was running for this kid that I was when I was young, looking at L'Equipe on Wednesday, and who was dreaming about American football, basketball. And I was thinking that maybe my writing skill may help this kid, sad kid, as I was, to dream about a brighter future. So I was looking for a place at this time, and I found a place. It was in Harlem. The only white guy of a street who was known in the early 80s as the most dangerous place in New York. So imagine that all the people that I've met, I was 30 years old. So when I was seeing people like in the 50s or in the 60s, huge guys, women, at first they considered me as a crack smoker because we had some, but I was not that big. I didn't eat much because I was not eating well because I had to keep my money to pay my rent, and I was always working from, I used to have a life of 33 hours without sleep and 40 hours of sleep, which was my way, because when you live in a city which never sleeps, when do you find yourself time to sleep? So I arrived in Harlem on the West 129th Street, and there was that lady, my neighbor. She knew that I was not eating well. She knew that she knew. And she called me Thibault Nange. She was coming from the south. And suddenly, at this time, I didn't know that Abby or Abby would come out someday from my mind. But she started to tell me things. And on the third day, I heard someone shooting guns, gunfire. You know, we heard that in movies. And what the French guy is doing? The French guy passing his head outside, looking, waiting, who's shooting? And my neighbor on the side say, Thibault Nange, stay inside. But at the same time, I said that I was going to NBA games and NFL games. And we had plenty of stickers in the press room. And I took many of them. Because at the basement of my building, on the 19 West of 129th Street, we had a kindergarten school. with plenty of young, beautiful kids. And I was like Santa Claus every time. Because every night that I was going to a game, the next morning, they had at least 20, 25 stickers. And I was known as the Thibonange. And they loved me. And after that, with the boys of 8 years old, I was playing basketball with them because I was so huge for them that I would consider myself as Shaquille O'Neal, if you know the black player from the Afro-American player from the Los Angeles Lakers. After that, after 3 years, well, New York lived the 9/11 event, and something happened, something was different, and I had to go back. To go back because I think it was time. I wanted to stay, but I think, you know, I'd met someone, she was pregnant, I couldn't be like my parents. So I had to come back, and I had the first son and the second one, and my dream stopped about going back to New York and etc. In France, it's particularly difficult to have a job. And in the press release, even if I have over 1,800 interviews, reports, it's not the same. Here you die with your job. Well, if you are some kind of artist or in the press releasing, if you can stay to the spot, to your job, stick to your job until you die, do it. There, if you have something, they open the door, or they give you a chance. That's why Paul Zimmerman from Sports Illustrated did. My real father, because there was a chronicle called My 2 Cents, and Paul Zimmerman, Dr. Z, was hearing me always commentating, always doing comments while we were in the press room at the Meadowlands football stadium in French and in English, because I wanted to hear if I was right or not. And one day, Paul Zimmerman said, you know, I'm looking for an intern to write articles. Do you have an idea about a title of this article? I say, how many lines? He said, 10 at most. I say, oh, cool. Oh, it could be My 2 Cents, because ma rubrique à 2 balles. Because it was, yeah, we have to say, we still have 10 lines missing. We have to find something, oh, à 2 balles, right, My 2 Cents. And say, yeah, okay. You say, when do you start? Eh? And I wrote my first 3 articles in the United States. I appeared on ESPN. I went on radio doing comments with my French accent. It was so funny. Because talking about Bill Belichick or Bill Parcells of the New York Giants at this time and the New England Patriots, it was very funny to speak like that and say, you know what, guys, I like the way they play, but I don't think that's the right thing to do on the football field. I say, what? Who is this guy? No, it was not who is this guy. This guy was right when he was talking about our sport, even if he was not born and raised in the United States. I'm going to sum a little bit more. In 2014, I started to, I was out of job. I started to be on the RSA, 400 euros per month. And I had to think about my life, to make my son proud of me, and to honor her memory still. I took a bath. I said, okay, my friend knows that I'm a good writer. my friend. So this is not right. I said, okay, you want me to write a novel? Okay, I'm going to write a novel. But to do it with discipline, methodology, I said at first, before I will be able to write a novel, I had to learn. So, you know that we have in France writing contests every month or every week even. And I started to look at any contest to find maybe something which will fill me inside. And one contest for September 2014 was, tell us a story about Halloween. And I wrote the last part of ABY right away. I was not selected. It was awful, bad written. To be honest, it was very bad. But something happened. Something happened. Because suddenly, my love for Harlem came to life. And suddenly, I saw all the saga, the historical saga, coming to my mind. And I was with this lady who welcomed me in New York, in Harlem. I was seeing her, but not her story. That's what, for your answer. This lady was the first stone of a thing way much bigger. Abby, it's a story. Like Gone with the Wind. To give my word, the word given to my grandmother. And because she loved Gone with the Wind, I started to write my own saga, my own historical story. Abby will start in Louisiana, in Houma. Houma, this is the town, le plus au sud, in Duet.
The most southern.
Right, the most southern town in a small town. I think this is 5,000 citizens. And I started to build my story, which would be, as I like music, which would be an opera in 4 acts. I slice my story in 4 acts. We will start with a youth between 8 and 11 years old, from Louisiana to New York. Then, when she will be a teenager, at 19 years old. Then, when she will be a woman, at 39, and at the end of her life, when she's 82 years old. Most of people know the history of New York in big ways. Harlem suffered throughout the 20th century, a wish from its community to be like the other parts of New York. But I learned when I started to write ABY, it took me 8 months to make all my researches, historical point of views. And what I learned a lot about history of New York that I've never heard about. I heard what happened in Harlem. And I think I had my main line for ABY to be what she is now, my old and beloved lady. This is a thriller. Usually a thriller is what? We follow 2 cops trying to catch a serial killer. Good guy against big guy. Or a superhero, something happened to him and he's trying to succeed or to, whatever. Here, this is Amélie on Halloween's night, 31st of October 2012 in the midst of